Welcome to the Magna Carta Sports Podcast. Here with my bros, Dan and Rich today. Um, we've been absent for a little bit, fellas. Welcome back. Interested to see you guys' takes on the weekend NBA. So we'll get right into it. Make sure you all like, subscribe, and share the podcast and continue to view us, wherever you're viewing that. We appreciate it. But we'll get right to it, guys. Kyrie Irving has been in the news the last couple of weeks. For a reason other than basketball. Once again, he's had a couple issues since he's been with the Nets and even before that, with previous teams. So interested to see where you guys' takes are on that. I guess we'll start there. First, how are you guys doing?
I'm Gucci, bro. Just hanging in there.
Rich, Wes, how we doing?
We're good. My son's in the background having a bit of a fit. Hungry and it's nap time, so
shout out to baby Jay. But yeah, so I guess we'll start where Kyrie Irving. Over the last couple of weeks, he's been in trouble over his social media pages. He posted, a controversial documentary called Hebrews to Negroes. You can, view it on Amazon still currently. But ever since he's posted it, he's been in the news. A lot of people calling him anti-Semitic. Various sources are, coming at him and, bringing up his name for, again, other than his basketball talents. So, Rich, you want to start us off? Where you stand in the Kyrie Irving situation?
For sure. This is an interesting one, like you said, like the whole Kyrie situation. I think it's good for the fact that I think the two things that are working in his favor here. The first thing is that he didn't really post anything after submitting that message overall with the video, the movie. So he's able to kind of like wiggle his way out from there. And the fact that LeBron, KD, Floyd Mayweather, so many people have come to his aid, like, yo, y'all tripping. It's been funny because Shaq got up and he was like, yo, this guy's unserious, and then Shaq was playing it in his movie theater. So it's people are a little bit crazy on this one, but it looks like he's going to be able to get this one through. Overall talent wins, you know what I mean? So Miles Bridges just got done having an issue with his domestic violence, but he was averaging 20 last year. Somebody's going to sign him. So
yeah, I think with the whole Kyrie situation, yeah, I see that he did trigger a group of people, a group of demographic, but I also think that he thought in his mind that this is the whole movie was about Black people being Jewish first, I believe, or something like that, just stealing away the whole Judaism and stuff like that. I guess that's his way of thinking of how he was spreading his truths, but he stepped on toes. I think that he did apologize, and I feel that he should have. I think they went too hard on the returns of. They gave him like a whole list of what he needs to do to come back, and I feel like is kind of like really out of like not really character, but like out of the NBA. Like we don't really have a whole different list of things. Like when people get in trouble, they don't give them a whole list to come back and play,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I feel like they were just going to, because kind of like it was trying to demean him at the same time because he's a grown man and he says sorry. I feel like this should be over with, but they're trying to make him do this. They make him donate, make him go to leaders and like talk it out. I get that they're trying to get him to understand why he did it as bad and like get the meaning of everything, but I feel like publishing it and making a list and trying to like publicly shame him was kind of wrong.
Right.
That's how I really feel about it.
Absolutely, Dan. I think that's, where the Nets, and their brass kind of have fumbled this situation, not laying out, a clear explanation and, punishment or whatever the case may be for him after he, did what he did. Like you said, it hasn't really been too much precedent for it. A lot of Black figures now are, criticizing the Nets and the league for the way they have handled the situation, just because, a lot of I personally, feel that sometimes people of other races, kind of get away with, things, especially like this, where it's a social media type of thing, and are not really punished seemingly ever. So now he's been suspended. They say 5 games, or now I guess they have said indefinitely. So you don't know when he's coming back to the floor. They're telling him to donate $500,000 of his own money, not fine him that money, but take his money and donate to something that he might not even stand for or believe in. So that's kind of weird to me too. So I just think the Nets have, really fumbled this situation. They could have just said, we have a clear punishment for you. If you do this, you'll get to come back on the floor, but that hasn't been the case so far. So I kind of have switched up my view on it at first. I thought it was another issue that Kyrie had just, presented for himself. But now I kind of see where he's coming from a little bit. He's just trying to kind of learn about his history. And he apologized, like you mentioned too, as well. So I kind of think time should be up, and he should at least be able to play again. If they want to take any further steps than that, then they can do that. But I think he should be back on the floor, as of now.
Free Kyrie.
Yeah, he lost his Nike deal, and then like that's Nike is trying to say that he's crossed the line, but Nike makes sneakers at sweatshops, so I don't know what they're talking about.
Not even that. They had the shoe last year with what's the dude name with the blood in the shoe?
X, Lil Nas.
Yeah, Lil Nas X. Nike's the last people that should be talking about what you call it. Yeah, there's some clowns for that. But overall, like I think like in terms of viewing this, in terms of how it works with the Nets right now could have had Jaylen Brown and two draft picks from the Lakers if they had played this right. Like Sean Marks is a disaster, yo. He's officially a disaster. Like he's just, you're trying to bring something back. Ben Simmons looks like he looks like the Monstar stole his talent. You know what I mean? Like he is. Luka Doncic was going like 2 years ago. He was on the verge of being Defensive Player of the Year. Luka Doncic was like calling him out every single play. Like, yo, let him come scream for me. I want him one-on-one. And he was crossing them up one after another. So yeah, this is an interesting time right now for the Nets. Kevin Durant, like his career looks like it's pretty much like he didn't give himself a chance to prove anything different. Every time they bring up his championships, they're gonna be like, of course you joined arguably the greatest team ever. You know what I mean? Like, of course you have 2 championships, but you see what you did on your own, you can't really win anything. So
yeah, I kind of like your style of GM in there, Rich, now, because you kind of always call these trades that should happen before they happen or never happen. So you seem to be really up for trading even the highest superstars right before they maybe have reached their peak and stuff like that. So they, like you said, they could have maybe gotten a trade this past summer when they were offering up Kevin Durant for Jaylen Brown, who's looks like he just, again, continues to take another step in his game with the Celtics. So not really sure where the Nets go from here. They've been playing a little bit better since Kyrie has been out, but don't really see them, competing for a championship with these kind of clouds over their franchise and their team all season long. So interested to see, how the season unfolds for them. Dan, you got anything else on this topic?
No, not really.
So yeah, jumping off of that, I mean, there were some great games last night, gentlemen. I mentioned the Celtics there. They got a home win against the Denver Nuggets. Once again, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, both played, pretty substantial roles in that W, both offensively and, again, I can't mention their defense enough. Like, you don't really see a lot of two-way high-level players in the league right now. But those two, I see them every time I watch them. They're dominating even on the defensive side of the floor as well. Anything else stick out to you guys from last night's game or over the last week?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, in terms of the Celtics game alone, I think everyone has been watching as they have progressed. Like they're a team that no one wanted to face last year, and they're kind of just continuing on to that. You know what I mean? Like, it's always interesting watching people, whether or not people will develop. The Boston Celtics got Jaylen Brown for less than the max contract. So for the next 5 years, he's basically gonna be an all-star, and you're not paying him max money. He's the more physical version out of the two between him and Jason Tatum. He's developed his game overall. I think overall, like it'll be interesting to see how they do because they don't particularly have their coach anymore. Whether or not, because a lot of times in the playoffs it becomes a game of chess moves.
Yeah.
And when they're facing the Heat, who we know Eric Spoelstra is just tested, like for the most part, the Heat have been undermanned for years, but they keep ending up in the conference finals because they play defense, they have a tough culture, and they're able to make critical moves when that time comes. The Celtics have brought in the right amount of players. They have what's my man name? Malcolm Brogdon, who's playing good minutes, and then they got Williams. So we'll see how the Celtics do. The East is looking to be interesting. We'll see how that comes out though.
Yeah, the Celtics really looking like a team to beat right now. I don't really see them slowing down. I feel like they really found their niche. They really found how to work together. Because in the previous years, it's always been it's a Tatum's team, it's a Jaylen Brown's team, and now they just feel like they just finally learn how to coexist and just take turns. Yeah, they're feeding off each other, and everyone knows their roles. So I think that the Celtics they're just primed to definitely be back in the conference finals.
For sure. Yeah, the Eastern Conference overall, like you said, it's going to be a tough place to play. I see that the Celtics right now are 9-3. The Bucks also are 10-2 right now. They're just stomping everyone. It's going to be an interesting process to see what comes of that. Of the Eastern Conference, what I'm most interested in right now is the Magic. It's crazy to say, but they've assembled a 6-man front court rotation of 7-footers, and they all can run and jump. They're going to be, if they were able to get a CJ McCollum or Jordan Poole, they would definitely be a problem this year. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The Nets again are pretty much going to be a first round exit. They might even lose in the play-in. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no, I definitely like watching the Magic. Young Paola, and the GOAT Bol. They got a big win last night over the Suns at home too. So I definitely like checking them out on League Pass. And like you said, the Eastern Conference, man, is just the powerhouse. It seems this year. The Bucks even are doing that off to that hot start without Chris Middleton right now. Down in the ATL, DeJounte Murray looks like he's fitting in, right in with the Hawks. They're off to a good start as well. And then the surprise team, not really a surprise, but just because of how young they are, the Cavaliers.
The Cavaliers, bro.
The initial trade, they're off to a really good start as well. So the East is going to be fun to watch this year for sure, man.
Yeah, for sure. They had a tough game last night with the Warriors, going back and forth with them. Donovan Mitchell has proven himself. He's ready to be. I think for the longest time playing in Utah, most people don't watch his team. All of a sudden, he's just solidified himself as a top 7 player. For sure. You list the players right now. Embiid is mostly trash. James Harden's looks like he is. James Harden looks like he's done. Like for real, if I'm the GM, and this is a problem right now with what's the guy name with Daryl Morey, is that right now it's obvious that those aren't the guys. This Philly need to trade it up, but the Cavaliers they're just young and ascending right now. I think Donovan Mitchell might be 25 or 26. So their team overall is just, I think he's the only one on a big contract, and most of those guys are 23 and 24 years old. So they're going to be tough for years to come.
Yeah, I think that they have, I was telling Chris, I think they have about maybe a year or two before they can definitely make some real noise. I was watching the game. They was up 10 in the fourth quarter, and they just kept chucking threes instead of just going in and get running plays and get easier buckets and just to keep the lead and just to hold them off. But they just kept chucking it up, and then you're trying to have a shootout with Steph Curry, and you're most likely going to lose. And Steph just drilled 3 threes in a row, and they took the lead. So they definitely need to work on late game situations, plays that can just get them an easy bucket. and just stop chucking it up, because that's what just their go-to, really.
For sure.
But they could definitely win off just talent alone, honestly.
Mhm.
Yeah, they got a lot of talent for sure. They got size at every position. And NBA teams, if you're watching, listen to what Rich is saying. DM, my guy is sounding pretty good these days.
Now for sure. Like I think that the key for them unlocking is going to be Mobley. You know what I mean? Because you know what you got already in Mitchell. He's the one who can become the next level player. The Knicks like one of these teams. It seems like GMs just aren't like they aren't able to see around the corner right now. You know what I mean? Like the Knicks right now don't really value Obi Toppin. If you know what I mean, if someone is smart, they send some kind of player that's like they aren't really interested in, and go and get him. Like he every time he steps on the court, he's just electric. Like he's a ball player. So it'll be interesting to see what goes down. I guess the next phase of talking right now is like, what are your thoughts on disappointments and possible NBA trades? This is something I've been thinking about for a while. Chris, you look like you're ready to go ahead, so you go ahead and start.
Oh man, you hit me where it hurts. But yeah, we gotta talk about my Lakers. If we switching gears to go out west, man. Just a disappointing start so far. I was talking with Dan, before we got on, how every game seems to just play out the same way. Just unforced turnover after unforced turnover. Again, it's a long season. We're only 12 games in, but I don't think we've ever seen a team, with 3 Hall of Fame players like LeBron, AD, and Russ, 3 top 75 players, be this bad to start a season. So it's disappointing for sure for me. Hoping they can turn it around. LeBron's is now day to day with a lower body injury, so that's another blow to us. The shooting has not been there. The chemistry has not been there. It's just a mixture for a bad storm. It looks like, some of those moves that Rob Pelinka made in the offseason have just not turned out so far.
Dude, it's terrible.
I got to be optimistic when it comes to my teams, but it's not looking so good for us right now, man.
I mean, it started off looking better when they put Westbrook to the bench, and then I think he's the best shooter on the team right now at like 39% maybe.
Wow.
He's played a lot better since coming off the bench for sure.
It's a whole resurgence right now. We call him Benchbrook now.
Yeah, this was the fear when you looked at the roster before the season. We just don't play great complementary basketball. Like when one player's going, everybody else is off. If LeBron's got it going, our role players are not going to hit threes wide open. They just don't have the chemistry, and definitely not the shot making. The defense has been solid, but we're just not scoring enough. And then we turn it over. I think we're probably like the most turnovers per game in the league right now. I watched the game. A lot of them are just unforced. They'll step on the baseline when they're wide open. They'll dribble it off their foot. So I don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah. Now, I think overall right now the Lakers are having an issue where they don't know if they want to be the Knicks in terms of selling out the stadium, or if they want to win a championship. They haven't decided that yet. You know what I mean? And Jeanie Buss, like you said, like it's the stories that come out. You know what I mean? Like Kurt Rambis. Kurt Rambis has a 3rd worst coaching record of all time. And somehow, some way, he's making like critical decisions on terms of the roster. What'd you call it? Overall, it's just not a good place to be right now. And I think everyone wants to. It's the Lakers. Everyone wants to see the Lakers be good. Everyone wants to see the Knicks be good. The Celtics are well-oiled machine. But these people, these teams don't know what is best. Like it's like they're fighting for the 7th spot. You guys are better than this. But right now, LeBron is chasing the scoring title. So it looks like they've basically put their whole season on hold and just waited for him. It'd be crazy if he say God forbid, but he just gets hurt and just doesn't finish it this year, and then just becomes cooked. But
John Sally predicted.
Yeah, like he was. Now go ahead.
No, I was just saying John Sally, former Laker, he predicted recently that LeBron is somehow not going to break the scoring record. So
it feels that way. It's like, yo, he's just like all of us. Like he started the season just like after last year, everybody was like for sure he's breaking the record in like 15 games, and he's just have like the worst start of his career. His points are down, rebounds are down. He's not getting to the line. I think right now he's like one of the worst ball handlers in a pick and roll, right? You know what I mean? So but between the two of them, anybody who's watching is like watching two trains that are coming for each other. Anthony Davis, he looks like he lifted too many weights, and he just looks heavy. At some point he'll get hurt, and once he gets hurt, no one's going to trade for him. And then LeBron is just like if you're smart, get off of these contracts. I love what the Patriots used to do. They get off of people early. Like you look at people and be like, yo, this isn't going to work. Westbrook has built up his value. Get that dude out of the building. But they're going to hold on for Kyrie next year, and then it's going to be the same thing over and over again. And the Pelicans going to get another top draft pick. So,
did you say get off LeBron's contract?
Yeah, like it's like the idea right now is like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, like even if you want to keep LeBron cool, but get rid of Anthony Davis now. Like it's there's, you know what I mean? Like I'm calling people immediately. Like, yo, what do you want to give me for him? If you can give me 2 first-round draft picks and a young player, like you can have them. I'm sending them to the Knicks are the ideal place. I sent them over there, but you know what I mean? We'll see what happens, what's going on with them. But the Lakers overall has just been a mostly after that title, they've been a dumpster fire for the better part of a decade. They've had 2 years of non-fire dumpster, and then all of a sudden they go back to hot garbage.
It's kind of similar to when Kobe final years. They weren't good at all either.
Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's the same. I think the common denominator is Jeannie Buss.
Hey, ever since she took over, they haven't been looking good.
Yeah,
a lot of fingers. So
yeah, it's interesting. But the one also that I think in terms of disappointments is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like that is how I had a chance to watch the game last night. That was rough to watch, yo. Karl Anthony Towns' dad was in the stands, and like you could tell, like they were just like, we need to get out of here. Like this isn't. All the fans love Anthony Edwards now, and he's just like, okay, I need to go. Yeah, right. So
really traded. What did they trade 4 or 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert?
They traded 5 first-round draft picks and 4 rotational players. All those rotational players are now helping the Utah Jazz be the best record. You know what I mean? Like
they can get that for Gobert. We can get at least 3 first rounds right now for AD. Yeah, we might.
Yeah, and definitely, like I said, like it's you want, like I said, you want to get off of something early. Like never. They always say never do deals with Danny Ainge, and he's just like for the next 5 years, like. And this is what I'm on right now, is that like you've already lost those draft picks. It's time to trade Karl Anthony Towns. It's obvious those two don't, like between Gobert, Anthony Towns, and then Edwards, those 3 don't mix. Towns still wants it to be his team, but he's, you know, spent almost 10 years in the league and he has like 1 playoff win. So it's like, yeah, it's time. It's obvious. Give the keys to Anthony Edwards. D'Angelo Russell is Towns' guy. I trade him too. He was like 1 for like 12 last night or something like that. So yeah,
this season as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Edwards said something similar about how they say he only got like 1 dunk in the season so far, or something like that. He's basically saying like there's 2 trees in the middle. I can't go in there, like you're clogging up the paint. So I kind of get that. They definitely need to free up some room. They need to add more shooters. D'Angelo Russell is not it. He's not deloading anymore. He looks terrible right now. In fact, in the game, I don't know if it was this game or the last game, he literally didn't check in the game.
Yeah.
It was playing 4-on-5. It was, and the announcers were sitting there saying, like, I've never seen anything like that. He's just not locked in. That team is just completely unserious. They're not focused. They need to do some type of shakeup. Yeah, I think Anthony Edwards given the keys. Gobert is Gobert. You traded Matt Picks, so I feel like you can't really trade him again.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he does the defense. He plays the defense that Karl Anthony Towns does not.
Yeah,
you know, and they got Karl Anthony Towns at the 4. So what they're trying to do is bring him out to the top of the key, and they just running past him and just getting what they want out of him because he can't move his feet fast enough to stay in front of other fours. So that's just how they're just getting killed. So I don't think this team is just not going to work out the way it is. So they got to blow it up somehow.
Yeah, no, it's cool because like I think Russell can because he's still like 26 years old. I think he can still be a good off the bench player. He can give you 20, like 15 or a night or something like that. Towns, I think he can either, if teams are smart, either like the Hornets or the Knicks again, like you're looking for a star player and you're looking for a center. I think he can help either one of those teams pretty well. But right now it's just like it's obvious that, you know, I mean, you need more wing players. Like the young kid McDaniels, he's balling. Anthony Edwards is ready to go, and then you got Gobert. That's a pretty good starting lineup right there. You can get yourself a point guard, you can get yourself a wing, and then you'd be straight. But yeah, like it's obvious. Like the new president of basketball operations, he didn't draft Towns or anything like that. So I'm guessing he's going to be traded. But he just signed his contract, so he can't be traded until December 15th. So we'll see what happens here later on in the season.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind my Heat taking Towns because Bam is truly a 4 that's playing a 5, and he has the foot speed to handle 4s. So you just have Towns sitting there on a defense. He can sit in the middle and sit in the paint, and then try to, I guess, block because he's not really a shot blocker. But he wants to be a shooting big, and Bam can't shoot. So I think that would complement. So on offense, you have Towns out there shoot like in that at the wing, and then have Bam down low. But then on defense, they switch it, you know, because I think that it'll work better instead of having what we're doing, the small ball lineup, and just have someone that can actually go out there and get some rebounds too, as well as shoot. A 7-footer that can shoot and get rebounds. So probably be something to look at in a trade.
I was thinking about that too. That I think they would probably need one more player in there, but that's a good foundation. I think that Towns for Bam will be a good one. But again, it makes too much sense, so I'm sure no team is going to do it. I really don't understand at all what teams be thinking. It's like they be afraid for something to happen and think that they don't want to happen end up happening. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if I was a GM, I would definitely, yeah, I won't say Sam Hinkie, but I go for it.
That John was hilarious when D'Lo was out the whole possession, like there for 20 seconds, like not getting on the court. Oh man, I was crying. But you mentioned Danny Ainge there, Rich. Got to talk about, you know, giving credit to the Utah Jazz as well as the Portland Trail Blazers. Two teams that probably not really many people had expected to get off to hot starts like this. So the Jazz, both of these teams has been, for me, you know, really fun again to watch. The Jazz, you know, beat us a couple times by 15, 20 points already.
Larry Bird.
Portland, Anthony Simons, Shaedon Sharpe, and Dame Dollar, man. Talk about an exciting trio, as well as Jeremy Grant, too, as well, who's off to a great start. Shout out to Chauncey Billups, coaching the Trailblazers as well. So what you guys think about those two teams off to these hot starts?
Larry Bird, man. Marking out there, killing it.
I like him, too.
Huh?
I said, I like him, too. He's nice.
I didn't think it'd be this good, honestly. That's why I didn't pick up my fantasy team. But it's crazy. I don't think that Danny Ainge wants to win, so he's probably sitting there really mad that the Jazz just keeps winning right now.
Yeah, definitely. They're interesting. Like I said, the Utah Jazz are interesting right now because, like, just on paper, when you think about what you will want, right? You need a ball handling guard that's good at decision making. You want a shooting guard who can light up the three. You want a big who can spread the floor, and then you want a guy who can run. And all those things are the ingredients that they have. And then off the bench, they got a young kid who they picked up from the Minnesota Timberwolves. They got Malik Beasley, Colin Sexton. They're a deep team that in all the ingredients that you're looking for, they have it. But people just expected them that they were going to tank. So it's like people are like, can they sustain this? For the most part, like this looks like if you put different names on the back of their jerseys, people would be like, oh, this is going to be the number one seed. But because it's the Utah Jazz, you're like, of course not. They're going to lose. But I expect that they can definitely I don't know. I won't say they're gonna win anything, but I think they can make it a 6 seed, a 5 seed, or something like that in the playoffs.
What does it mean to change the game? Is it a single moment? Something that just happens?
Is that me?
Yeah, I thought she was playing that for a reason. So,
Good job. Nah, but I think the Portland Trail, the Blazers are interesting because for the longest time they had Dame Lillard and they had CJ McCollum and they didn't have any wings. Now all of a sudden you got Jeremy Grant, you got Shaedon Sharpe, you got Hart. They have all the pieces now, and it's kind of awkward because they're still winning games without Damian Lillard. I think they'll keep Dame this year. I think he just signed a 2-year contract, but Anthony Simons is like he's coming up and as Dame's protege perfectly. Like he's perfected that dribble pull up from the 3. Shaedon Sharpe is coming nice on the wings. You got Nasir Little. They have a team that's really interesting. They could use a rim running big. What's it called? Nurkic. They've paid him another $70 million, and he's already on vacation. His annual vacation for 15 to 20 games. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But Chauncey Billups has proven himself without a doubt. I think they're top 3 in defense right now. They're explosive all over the court. They're winning games that they probably shouldn't. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting next few years because between Shaedon Sharpe and Anthony Simons, they have their backcourt for the future now. So now it's just getting pieces around them that can help to bolster their future.
Yeah, was not expecting that kind of start from either of those teams. So again, I would definitely agree with you again, Rich. I would say Portland has a better chance of sustaining it throughout the season and moving forward. But it'll be interesting again and fun just to see how those two teams shake out for sure. See if Danny Ainge can get his team on the right page to tank for Wembanyama.
I think the last thing we could chat about is Luka. Luka started off crazy hot, and now it looks like he's like wearing down. I think we've seen this again and again between Russell Westbrook, James Harden, dudes who have these crazy usage percentages, and by the time they get to the playoffs, they're cooked. Luka has never looked like he's in shape, and all of a sudden, 12 games in, he looks dog tired. What you call it? Jason Kidd was talking about it. He's like, yeah, this is not an ideal situation. So they need to look for a different option in terms of offense.
Yeah, I saw that every quarter his field goal percentage and scoring goes down. So the first quarter is like 40%, and then the second quarter is like 40 something, then third quarter is like 30 something, then like the fourth quarter he's shooting at bottom 30%. So it's saying that his field goal percentage just keeps going down. And so I'm guessing just getting more tired. They asked him to do much more than he was doing when they had Jalen Brunson. So I just think that they need to get more ball handlers, or at least just get more people involved in the offense. Maybe that's probably the best thing, instead of just being a Luka ball for 20 seconds in the shot clock, then passing it for a score, or just like him chucking it up. That's basically been their formula, and it's been working so far. But honestly, through 82 game season, that probably won't sustain. Honestly, it took them last year. It took them far. They got far in the playoffs, but I think that more and more now people see what Luka is. Mm-hmm. They're gonna try to probably take the ball in his hands, or try to force him to do something that he doesn't want to, and it's gonna definitely be the detriment of the team.
Yeah, definitely. I think last year, what assists to them is them having that they had 3 ball handlers between Jalen Brunson, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Luka. Luka was able to take a break, but right now it's that they basically have 2 guards, and the rest of the team is forwards and centers. So it's not an ideal situation for them. Hey, baby, our future analyst. But that they aren't set up at all right now. And what's crazy is I think a lot of teams are just taking a guard, and because if you can stop Luka, you win the game. So what people are doing is basically you pressing up full court, just keep making him keep turning, and by the time the fourth quarter comes around, his legs are mostly done. So you're 12 games in. This is not a good look. They need to get another point guard in there. They need to get someone else with ball handling duties, or just move him to a shooting guard position where he can continue to score from there.
Yeah, I agree with both of you for sure. You know, Luka does look like he's kind of wearing down a little bit right now, but I still got faith in him because we kind of seen this movie before a little bit. You know, a lot. It's kind of been a knock on him, like you guys mentioned. Some of the times he doesn't look to be in the best of shape, but by the end of the season, you know, he's back to doing what he does. And then we've seen, you know, once you get him in a playoff series, what he's able to do as well. Don't I thought that the addition of Christian Wood would help them, you know, be able to diversify their game a little bit, be a little bit more inside out. But the last couple games, it hasn't really shown for them. So I look for them to, you know, potentially make a move to add another backcourt player that can take the pressure off of Luka and Spencer Dinwiddie a little bit. But overall, I think they'll figure it out, and Luka will continue to, you know, dominate as he's been since he's been in the league, and get them into, you know, top 4 or top 7 seed, whatever it is, and they'll be fighting it out in the playoffs with whoever they're matched up with.
For sure. And I think this is a good thing long term in terms of like the next 5 years for the Dallas Mavericks. It's good that they've gotten a chance to, the whole world gets to see, like, yo, you can't just give them the ball nonstop. You need to do something different. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy because, like, I think for years with the Cavaliers, what they used to do, they used to let Kyrie bring the ball up and then they pass it to LeBron on the wings and start their offense from there. So he doesn't actually have to dribble the ball up to have the ball in his hands, but just finding ways of getting him the ball without him having to use so much of his legs in the backcourt and the front court and stuff like that, I think will help overall, for sure. Any additional comments today, fellas?
Yeah, we didn't talk about Ja. Quick shout out to, you know, Memphis. They're still competing. Ja Morant looking like an MVP candidate, and also to Desmond Bane, who's really stepped up his game as well. I just been watching them over the last couple of nights too. So shout out to Memphis.
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely, like you said, like the key to their team is going to be someone else has to grow into that role. And Bane looks like he looks like the natural dude who just goes in the gym and just works. Dude, like, I don't know if you guys noticed, his arms are short. he looks a little bit strange. Like,
brolic, though. So crazy.
He looks like an NFL player, but like,
yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, you were saying, Chris?
He doesn't look like he should have the range that you mentioned. With those short arms, but he's cooking from 3. He's like 50% from 3 right now or something.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to be that buff to shoot the ball, man.
They have Jaren Jackson has been hurt, so hopefully he comes back. He constantly stays hurt a bit as well, but they need a few of their guys to really develop. Ja has been able to do his thing, but it is going to need someone else to really step up for them to really take that next step to really compete with the Warriors and everyone else. Last comment: the Clippers are going to clip. Kawhi Leonard hasn't played in like 3 years, and he just continues to low manage. They were like, go ahead.
Yeah, that's crazy because everyone talks about Anthony Davis, but Kawhi been played way less games in a few years than AD. So it's like he's getting all the blame, but no one's putting anything on Kawhi. And it makes no sense, really, because Kawhi, I mean, he definitely got that championship in Toronto, but we all know they won because of the Warriors. But Kawhi hasn't really done anything ever since then. He's just been out. He's got to pass, really.
He's collecting that check. It's a good thing he went to the Clippers because nobody really watched the Clippers, but if he had been in LA, they would have been on him. So at least that's a good thing for him.
Clippers in LA.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching us today. We enjoyed this particular conversation. Look forward to our weekly podcast and look to bring you more insights from around the NBA. Thank you.
Peace.